I would like to call this the crimes of Gypsy Rose. Okay? I'd like to do a chronology, if you will. Okay, the first evil acts we know of Gypsy Rose Blanchard was when she was harming small animals. Remember, this was evidenced by some people that were doing some. I saw this on some TikTok videos that neighbors had reported. This wasn't to us. Neighbors had reported that she had harmed small animals, which we know if you couple that with starting fires and wetting the bed, which I don't know if that's true of her. I knew she had a bladder issue there, so maybe she wet the bed. I don't know. If she started fires too, that's the McDonald triad, and we know what time it is with that, right? Right? If all three of them are in place, wetting beds, starting fires, and harming animals, all three of them have to be, then chances are they're a psychopath. The McDonald triad. So we know Gypsy was harming small animals. Right there, you know, anyone that hurts animals, what time it is with that, right? To hurt an animal? That's some kind of sicko control, sadistic shit, right? So we have that. Then we have reports of she used to, other little girls that were prettier than her and had nicer long hair and stuff, she'd pull their hair and fight with them and all this shit. And Dee Dee would have to plead with them to just please be nice to Gypsy and play with her. She just has make excuses for her. Then we know that Gypsy at the Ronald McDonald House was thrown out. A sick child was thrown out of the Ronald McDonald House and told that they needed to find elsewhere to go because she threatened to stab a small child's eyes out. Because they questioned, Mommy, why does she talk like that? Why does she talk like normal and then switch into this crazy shit? Even a child noticed it. And what does Gypsy Rose Blanchard do? Without even thinking, went to stab the child's eyes out. Okay? This is what we're dealing with from a young age. This is what we're dealing with. There's a reason she didn't go to school, right? There's a reason she didn't go to school, guys. And I'm pretty sure it's because it's her psychotic behavior. She couldn't get along with others. Probably would hump on them. She probably would hump on other students. Who knows? We know what a freak she is, right? We'll get there. The crimes of Gypsy Rose. All right, so now we know that she's been nothing but problems with as a child, right? No one wants to play with her in the neighborhood. No one wants to play with her. No relatives. No children want to play with her. He has to bribe them with candy and shit. No one wants to play with her. Just like now, no one wants to deal with her. You have to be paid to deal with her. Okay? Those people around her are paid. So then, what do we have? We have, her and her mother doing whatever it is they're doing. Who taught who's what, who's that. But then we know at one point when Gypsy decided she had enough of her mother and wanted to discard her, she unloaded a BB gun in her. And slipped up and told someone one time, well, I thought it was a real gun. So she was through discarding her mother there and was ready to just blast her then, right? Well, that didn't work out for her. So then what does she do? She goes on a 2-year quest to set up a man on the autism spectrum with other mental health issues, a low IQ, and was even collecting a permanent disability check. To slowly manipulate into thinking that he was a BDSM freak and had alter egos and alter personalities like this dumb bitch, and that he was this and that she really loved him, and if he wanted, that's the one thing she had over him, and if he wanted her love back, then you're going to have to do a binding ritual and sacrifice my mother. It's the only way. I'm a good girl. I can't be having sex and stuff with men I'm not married to. Meanwhile, she's whoring around with anybody she can get her fucking mitts on at VisionCon. She's not choosy either. Look at the men she's been with. Look at what she's with VisionCon. Dan Glidewell, Brian Rott, none of them. Oh my God, David Blanchard having threesomes with him and his disgusting wife. Yeah, that's true. That's right. Gypsy, you want to deny all this shit when I say that you're the truth of you and your mother trafficking children, Ash Blonde 6, because I know you're watching every single video. And the last one, you want to gaslight me and try to gaslight everybody in the comments that I'm on drugs and I'm crazy and everyone knows I'm crazy. Now that you've said this, she says, now that you've said this about Dee Dee and Gypsy, because she's Ash Blonde 6, now people know you're absolutely crazy that you would say this about her. She's got at least 5 or 6 comments over there frantically trying to explain every single piece of damning, irrefutable, circumstantial evidence I laid out succinctly, piece by piece, what points to only one thing, that this motherfucker and her mother were trafficking children. They were at least a link in the chain. And she's frantically doing this. So we're going to discuss all the crimes of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, if she wants to play it that way. Where were we? So then she decides, well, we'll get my mother out of the way since the whole BB gun thing didn't work out. Jesus Christ. Got to get her out of the way. She's taught me what I need to know, and I'm an adult now. Get this bitch out of the way so I can have this house and I can make some real money. And I can get this party started. I can have 3 or 4 guys over at once and have them run trains on me. That's how Gypsy Rose likes to do it. Choo-choo, Gypsy. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so then after she discards her mother finally this way, of course, then we know she discards Nick, throws him under the bus, blames it all on him, first tricks him into thinking it's a binding ritual because he's slow, and we've already talked about all his issues, and uses love. She used love. We saw the text messages, friend Lori. I have to do this. It defies laws of nature, and I have to do this. I can't believe it, but I have to keep her. If I got to do it to keep her, I will. As evidenced by the article that Nicholas Godejohn gave in the year 2020, where he said, "Yeah, Nick, right after the after the crime, when we were back at the hotel room, I was crying and I was upset and I was praying to Dee Dee and begging her to forgive me, for her soul to forgive me." And what's this evil bitch say to him? Shut up, put that brownie down that you're eating now, because you're going to be eating my pussy, and quit crying. It was all my fault anyway. This leads me to something else real quick. Side note, the prosecution knew this evidence and saw that evidence, and so did everyone else. Hello? That alone puts it on her and takes it off of him, but that's a side note. The crimes of Gypsy Rose. So she blames it all on him and uses love to trick him into it, of all things. She uses love. And then when she discards him, and he's rotting in prison now forever. Remember the interrogation? He raped me. He didn't like my mama dragging his name through the mud. And he went crazy and he stabbed her up and killed her. And then I had to go to the bathroom and shave my pussy, where somehow he locked me in with the lock on my side because I had to give myself to him. He was going to rape me. Okay. Okay, Gypsy. So then after she's done doing that, and then she goes off to prison. Okay. While in prison, she accuses an inmate of sexually assaulting her. And that inmate had to go through all the things, right, until it's straightened out. Still had to go through the things. Okay? Not to mention the reports of her crop dusting people that were trapped in lines somewhere in places where they couldn't go anywhere. She fart on them like a 13-year-old boy and run off and laugh. In prison, that's an evil. That's a crime. That's it. That's an evil thing to do. Okay. So that she did all kinds of evil shit in prison. She was having sexual relations with guards, and they covered that up. They say she spread herpes to one of them. I don't know that to be true, but that's the word on the street. Okay. She did inmates in there all kinds of dirty, all kinds of evils and crimes she did in there. Okay. And then, at the behest of her evil fucking attorney, she decides to trick a man again with love. She uses love again. Okay? She couldn't use her pussy because she's in prison like her, because she's a Jezebel spirit. She's a Jezebel. She couldn't do that. So she just tricks him with, on phone calls and in letters and in visits and, oh, how much I love you and you're so fucking sexy and, oh my God, I can't wait. And only so she could get out at the earliest time. Tricked him into marrying her, knowing the moment she got out of prison, the wheels would be set into motion to get away from him. Mike Stampfield told her. And all she did the whole time, the minute she got out, was try to avoid fucking him at all costs. The man she married and has stood by her for years and married and should be so excited, all she did was do her best to try to avoid fucking him. And that's the truth. And took off to her parents' house. She didn't have to. And Ryan's such a simp idiot to think that the dick is the fire and she really all that. Well, I know we really had something. I know we really had love and I know she was really into me because, I'm just... He thinks he's fine and all this anyway. I don't know what's going on over there, but whatever. So she takes that man and only to get out a little bit early too, guys. They had to let her out at 10 years at the most, and they can't max you out on your first offense in Missouri. She saved like maybe 6-7 months. She did that to a man. She destroyed a man like that, tricked him into falling in love and marrying her. One of the trashiest things you can do, get married in prison. So the minute she gets out, she can avoid being anywhere near him. The crimes of Gypsy Rose. See how she just discards people when she's through with them? Then she fakes a whole ass pregnancy and pretends she has a baby. The crimes of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And guys, I hate to tell you, this motherfucker's just getting warmed up. And I'll see you in the next video.